paper plate awards. We previously put together our tops of the submissions for the different assignments, and we showed the videos from TV shows that they made. So everyone got to see their hard work. They got to laugh. They got to celebrate this time together, and we got to give a paper plate award to the winners of each section. It was beautiful to see who won and their reactions. We had extra candy left, and so we gave that to the rest of the team. It was a beautiful time. It was sad to say goodbye. It was emotional. I was getting Instagrams and WhatsApps and Facebook and all the things so that we can continue to communicate after not being at this camp. The next part of our trip is recording testimonies. We ended up doing a road trip to Coban up in the mountains, and we were recording this testimony at a church, kids school. There were a lot of adults there, but there was a ton of kids. They would have a schedule, devotion time. The kids had scriptures they memorized and songs and plays that they did, prayers, snack break. They were planting new plants along the fence, coloring. There was like a football field up the road that they went to play around. That was whenever we were working to record a testimony of a little boy. He had been hospitalized for a reason, and we were just recording testimony of how the church helped him to go through that, go to the hospital and all of that. He was a bit nervous, so we actually ended up interviewing the director, and she told us his story so that we could have a complete testimony. After that, we ended up going into the downtown part of Coban, not up in the mountains, but in the valley, I guess. We went to the Nazarene Bible Institute. We recorded a testimony of a guy that works there, and he was telling the story how the money that is received from the Nazarene Church is put to use, and the process of having to submit your projects to be approved to get money, and you don't know how much money, and there's rules on what the money can be spent on. We got to see them building a new building. They wanted more classrooms so that they could grow this institute. We saw a team from, I think, South Carolina that they had stopped at the seminary where we were at in Guatemala City, and then they were in Coban working on building this. And so it was like physical labor missions trip, which I have never done. One day I would like to, but yeah, they were out there and they were getting it done, moving concrete, mixing concrete. These stories are used for the north central Nazarene region of the church. Ugo is editing those for them to use. The last part of the trip is tourism days. With all the hard work, we have to have some relaxation, and they also want us to enjoy the culture. They want us to enjoy the country we're in. We had a few different tourism days and activities. The first one we did was Antigua. That was fun. Got to see my first volcano in real life. Now there were some clouds covering the top, but it was like you could see the outline of it, which was super fun. And then we were down in the city, got to see the yellow archway that a lot of people go to Antigua for. Y'all, we went to McDonald's, but McDonald's in other countries is different. There was other options. I definitely still got chicken nuggets and fries. We're not going to talk about that. But the outdoor seating, gorgeous. It's like a courtyard, and it has flowers and a fountain and birds chirping. It's beautiful. When we were up in the mountains in Coban, we stayed at the farmhouse, which is a hotel there. They were super sweet. They did have Christian music playing outside while we were there. They had a little hike that you could do on their land in the mountains and see more of a view. We went to this place where we had the possibility of seeing the quetzal, which is the currency in Guatemala, as well as their bird. So it was a beautiful hike. We did the 4-kilometer hike. There was a little waterfall, though it wasn't as rushing because it wasn't rainy season. And then we got to see the view from up on the mountain. We got to see where we started, and it was like, wow, we hiked up that whole mountain. It was crazy. So beautiful. 2 people ended up separating. 2 of the adults, they did the 2-kilometer hike, and then the rest of us did the 4-kilometer hike. They saw where the bird tree was. We were just zooming at the end where the tree where the bird was, and we completely missed it. We went to a cave, and we got to be in a cave. They gave us boots, they gave us a hard hat, and we were literally like climbing in this cave and touching stuff and going through the water, the river. It was amazing. I've never done anything like that. After the cave, we ended up meeting with 3 people that were at the media camp who work for Ugo and do like social media content, some other stuff. Carla, Carlos, and Danny ended up taking us on like a coffee break. We went to this area like a block where there's like beautiful trees and like flower vines and like concrete pillars. There's food. We got to try arroz con leche or arroz con chocolate, pretty much like hot chocolate with rice in it, or hot milk with rice in it. That like fills you up. And then we got to try some other things. I ended up trying I can't remember if it was a banana or a plantain that I think was fried, and it had sugar on the outside and then it had beans on the inside. Someone else had like a tostada, and then there was something else, and then there was like a sweet potato looking thing. So we got to try a bunch of different things. And then they ended up taking us to their church. I think they have the largest congregation in Guatemala. Their church was beautiful. It was ginormous, and they showed us, they had like a garage area that they would lift up the doors because it's also like a kid's school. They would lift up those doors if all the seating in the main area had been filled up, and then they would put out chairs on the side, so then there would be congregation on the side of the stage. They also bought a piece of property behind the church so that they could grow, and so that the youth and the children's ministry had a place to go. Then we had to say bye to them, but it was nice to see people from the media camp later in our travels. On our days outside of the media camp, we went to different malls, and the malls in Guatemala are like popping. They got 3 levels. They got grocery stores. They got all the stores. They had like Old Navy. They had like places we knew. Kids park area where it was like a little American Ninja Warrior like thing in a ball pit. At another mall, there was like dinosaurs that moved, which was super cool. We had some delicious ice cream on one of these times, and I got like cookies and cream, but it wasn't like Oreo cookies and cream. It was like a shortbread cookies and cream. And the last night when we were back in Guatemala City, we went to Cayala? I can't remember, but this is what it was. It's actually a city that nobody wanted to live in, so they ended up making it like a mall town, and now everyone wants to live there. And it's very European style. It's like outdoor mall, walk all over. And they ended up taking us out for a nice dinner. We had delicious food. We ordered pastas and salads and other things. And then they ordered appetizers. Oh my goodness, so full, but the food was so good. Then that was the end of our trip. All the times of driving around, it's a mountainous country, so it was like up and down and side to side around, and nothing was flat. But it was a very unique experience. We got to see a lot. Every time there was like a bridge we were going over and there was like a valley, I always like expected to see water, because where I'm from and where I've been, you usually see water at the bottom of a valley, and it's like, no, it's just land. I think only one time did we see water. We saw goats walking in the city. There's the chicken buses, and like at night, the chicken buses and the semis are decorated and they have lights, and the semis can only drive in the city between 9 p.m. and 4 a.m. because of traffic. Traffic is crazy. Sometimes like we just weren't moving, or it was like you just move a little bit and you're like taking, I don't know, 30 minutes to go a mile or something. And I just love looking out the window and just seeing the culture, seeing life. There's a bunch of motorbikes, and it's really cool to be able to live in a time, in a place where you can go to new places. I mean, I always say, and I always, without a doubt, I'm like, God created this entire world. I'm grateful for my parents. I mean, my mom married my stepdad, who's from Barbados, so that gave me the opportunity to travel when I was younger, and then we went on a missions trip because of her job. Now I've done stuff, family reunions, like all across the US. I definitely have the travel bug, and I'm so grateful to see the world because everything is so different, and it's like you can always learn from other cultures, or you can just experience something new and be able to grow in yourself and who you are. And I'm just grateful to God for this opportunity. I look forward to see what he does in the future. I look forward to see how the seminary grows and how they get more people, how the Bible Institute grows, how media changes the world and like church. I mean, media is everywhere, and I will always treasure these moments, these years. I will attach the playlist of all the other videos from my past mission trips so that you can see. I hope you enjoy. I hope this inspires you to do something new, to get out of your comfort zone, to enjoy life, to say yes to God, because a lot of times he's there and we just have to say yes. If we don't, nothing will change.